Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is July 31st, year 2019, and now it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, San Francisco time. And today we have a goal. We are going to talk about Emacs, the greatest editor on earth. And I'm going to do some live coding of Emacs Lisp and also explain how it works. So you are going to learn some Emacs Lisp, and feel free, as usual, feel free to ask me questions. Anything related to Emacs. And right now I have 0 person watching, so let's talk about some random Emacs things so that maybe when people will come. So there's a Emacs conference. Emacs meet. Okay, there is a Emacs conference 2019. Good morning, guys. Say hi. Okay. So we're gonna talk about Emacs today and some live coding of Emacs Lisp. Feel free to ask questions. Just type it. So we're going to you know so there's a Emacs Conference 2019. So check it out. Check it out. Uh, and this good morning, Justin Hayes. Justin Hayes Jones. Good evening. Good evening. Where are you? Where are you from? Like what city? What state? What country? So Emacs Conference 2019. Looks like this is a virtual conference, meaning that everything is taking place online. So check it out. And someone emailed me, asking me whether I'm going to do a presentation in the Emacs conference. I'm not sure, but since someone asked, maybe I have to check. I have to yet to check out what's the date. What's the schedule. Oh, hi to Vancouver. I lived in Vancouver, Canada for half a year, around 1986. Then I lived. Then I moved to Montreal, Canada, and I lived there for 3 years. Good morning, King Herring. King Herring. So this Emacs conference is a virtual online one. So check it out. But what date is it? So let's see. EmacsConf is a conference about the joy of Emacs, Emacs Lisp, and memorizing key sequences. We are putting things together for EmacsConf 2019, and we need your help to make Emacs Conference amazing. See our call for proposals. Okay, let's check call for proposals. Get involved and help spread the word. Yes, indeed, help spread the word. DEF CON. So King Herring says, are you going to DEF CON? I guess not, because you need a car, you need a... Where is that? And DEF CON is about what? Is about is about encryption related? Yeah, because I don't have a car, and I don't have money to go. I haven't been going out for for decades. So anyway, so this Emacs conference this year, we are holding Emacs Conf as a online conference. We haven't fully decided on the details and the needed infrastructure yet, but using as much as free software as possible, and ideally only free software, for this is a priority for us. Yes, because it's part of the Emacs political situation, the Free Software Foundation. So if you should support for free software as opposed to open source. Free Software Foundation's idea of free software. So free software, and see planning page if you would like to get involved. Okay, let's have a look at that. And they have handout on IRC, ircfreenow.net. Okay, so let's see. Call for proposals. Call for proposals. They're gonna important dates. CFP open. Call for proposal opens July 29th. Okay, so July to August 31st. That's your chance to submit proposals for talk. Speaker notifications. Schedule published October 1st. Okay, so the Emacs Conference 2019 is November 2nd. Oh, that's near the holidays. Uh, so lightning talk, standard talk, extended talk. So maybe I'll give positive. I'm thinking maybe I could give a talk, lightning talk, 10 minutes, or standard talk, 20 minutes, and I might talk about stuff like keys, which is the key binding I'm using. It seems what people will like that. So maybe that. Yeah. So check it. Yeah. So check it out. So let's see. King Harry says Las Vegas. It's a security conference, right? Okay, mostly black hat. Those DEF CON, those kind of encryption security conferences, they go over my head. Like sometimes you read about them, like they are so-called hackers. The serious hackers. You know, yeah, they yeah, it would be nice to go, but I don't, in Las Vegas, so it's gonna cost, a few $100s to go. So also, oh, by the way, is there anyone from Mountain View area? If you are interested, we could go together. I pay half of the share of the, ticket or whatever. Um, so yeah, if anyone is interested in that, going with me, then we could do that. I just go there to see actually because I've never been. So also, Kasa, you are some form of wizard demigod. Thank you. um, so Justin says it's neat that it's online. Last time it was in London, I think, and I couldn't make it. Okay, so you could really do a talk. Yes, definitely do a talk. Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you for the encouragement because I wasn't sure because usually, um, because I'm kind of weird. Like when I do a talk, I'm afraid it's not going well. Let's see. Am I doing okay here? Let's see. Okay, my face and voice. Yes. Okay. Like sometimes the voice went off and I didn't know for a long time. So let's go back to the. Okay, so we are going to start to do live coding. Let's talk about Emacs and Emacs Lisp stuff. So King Harry says C++ for Emacs is kind of lackluster. I wish I were better. Any suggestions? What do you mean C++ for Emacs is lackluster? Actually, if you consider all languages, Emacs would be best for C and C++. Actually, yeah, that's a strong point of Emacs as far as I know because yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Because so what is Emacs not good for? Typically Java. If you are a Java coder, Emacs has lots of problems. Of course, some people rarely. Some people have different opinions. They say, "Oh, you just install this package and this fairly complicated configuration, then Emacs will be great for Java." But the typical opinion is that Emacs, if you code in Emacs, I mean, if you code in Java, you probably better off with some other editor. That's a common opinion. But for C++, I think that's one of the Emacs strong point. But however, I don't have any answers because I don't code C or C++. I don't know them at all. The best thing I've done is hello world. It would be hard pressed for me uh, to write a hello world in C right now. Like I wouldn't know what to do. But this is one thing. I don't like C at all. But okay, let's focus on Emacs. It's not, because I'm going to start to talk, half an hour about C and C, stuff. So so King Harris, you are in San Jose. Oh, it's next week. So you are going to the DEF CON. Um, So autocomplete and error message and stuff. I see irony mod and it's alright, but it's hard to configure and works with clan only. Yeah, Qt Creator is really comfy. Yeah, I don't know anything about C++. Hello, brother. ZLKY. Okay, hello. Uh, Justin says, I use Emacs for Lisp, elisp, Ruby, and Clojure. Yeah, those are good. I've done more or less all those, and it's Emacs is great. But I would use Visual Code for C++. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So King Herring says, okay, different response than expected. I thought you would rant about how C++ is crap. Yeah, I was about to, but today, let's focus on Emacs Lisp, Emacs stuff. Uh, okay, so let's do that then. Okay, so there's Emacs conference. It's good to go. Let me mention another thing. So there's a Emacs meetup San Francisco. Okay, so you just go, search for Emacs meetup San Francisco. Okay, I've been going there like 5 times or so in the past 2 years, and it's fantastic. So if you live in the Bay Area, it's a good thing. You meet Emacs people, and Jeff Troll, this guy, he organized it with help of other people, and he's a great guy. Um, he, he's a very great guy, and he's a very smooth guy. He talk in a gentle way and in an organized manner. you know and he's by the way, he's a C++ coder. Okay, so if you have C++ questions, maybe ask him. And he has also done talks about C++. I think with Emacs, of course. I think he's been doing C++ for like 10 years or 20 years or more. So he's a C++ expert. And so I went there actually last week. I went there July 24th, and I met John Wigley. John Wigley is a guy who is the current maintainer of Emacs. And he's also, of course, he's a Emacs list expert, and he's also a Haskell expert, and he's also a compiler expert. As far as I know, he's been working on compilers as his job for like 10 or 20 years. So John Wigley, I met him. He's giving a talk about OgMod and several other people as well. And yeah, another guy is this Kitchen. I think his name is John Kitchen. Wait, just something Kitchen. Okay, I'm sorry. Like Kitchen, like that's his last name. He's a chemist professor at uh, CMU, which is a one of the top university. But anyway, I think that's his. Anyway, he's also an expert of OgMod, and he wrote this scientific computing package. Let's look. Okay, let's John Kitchen. Okay, that's his name, I believe. Let's see. Uh, John Kitchen, musician, Emacs. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is him. Okay, Jay, this is him, John Kitchen. So yeah, that's him. I met him uh, once, and he, uh, so he's one of the big Emacs list expert, and also this is a huge package. He showed me one time. Max, okay, it's a you know tens of thousands lines or more, and if you are a org user, and if you are a professor, or if you do scientific publishing, this is a good thing to look into. I mean, okay, so let's see the comments. Do you do some Python, the Django? I never did the Django, but I do code Python just for my own things for many years. Um, so yeah, so I have a let's do a plug. Okay, so I have a Python tutorial. Yeah, let's do plugs. Support Xah. So I have a Python. Yeah, I started to learn Python in 2005. I was a Perl coder in a web dev. We do e-commerce. I coded Perl for like 4 years every day for 8 hours a day. Then I switched to Python, and uh, mostly doing my own scripts. So anyway, for you guys interested in languages, I have many tutorials on languages. I would highly, some of them are very good. I would say, well, yeah, it's relatively good. The good ones are JavaScript in depth and Emacs Lisp. You can check them out. Python is okay, and Golang is also pretty good. Python, Golang, my tutorials are good for beginners. Uh, but JavaScript, my JavaScript tutorial is rather very much in depth. More in depth than I would claim more in depth in in a printed book you buy. And Emacs Lisp, and typically, well, my Emacs Lisp tutorial, because there are actually not many, Emacs Lisp tutorials out there. This almost doesn't exist. So anyway, well, let's get back and focus on Emacs. That's what we're gonna do today. Let's see how long I've been going. 5 people. Okay. So, okay, to have a cool meetup scene, much smaller in Vancouver. Justin Hayes. Honestly, I haven't been to many meetups. Okay. Oh yeah, King Herrings. Since you are in San Jose, yeah, you should definitely. John Kitchen's YouTube videos on OrgMod was what opened my eyes to org. Oh yeah, it's great. Hey Dan. So please share your website here. A friend recommended your videos. Please share your website here. What do you mean? You mean the URL? Okay, I'll post it. Okay, let's do Emacs. Let's start. Okay, so there is the that's enough about that. So let's go to talk. There's something I want to do. On the left window, you can see all the Emacs commands I call. So when you see I'm doing something you are not sure what it is, you can see the command names here. And for my commands, they start with XAH. And typically they are also on my website. You just search the name, you'll find it. Okay, so there are two things I want to do. So I have this xah-new-page commands. Let me show you the code. Okay, so let's call describe function xah-new-page, and you can see here's the documentation for the function. It just create a new a new file, new file for my blog, on my website. And you can go to the link, that shows the source code. So by the way, this is a great way to jump to any file, any Emacs list file. For example, I don't remember which file is this command in. So typically, whenever you have some Emacs list file, you can just call describe function and give it the name, and you'll show the documentation with a link to the source code. So this is one efficient way, like a bookmark, one efficient way to open any Emacs list file. So here's the code. So what this code does is basically, oh my god, it's longer than I expected. So what this code does is basically, let me show you what it does. Okay, so if I go to my Emacs blog, and let's say section. So I create a new section and I say something, okay, make a paragraph, show in browser. You see there's something. Now I want to create I have lots of files in my Emacs website, lots of them. So if I want to create a new file, so what do you do? Let's see, how to XYZ, okay, show in browser, how to XYZ, how to do something, diet or whatever, Windows or whatever. I want to create a new file. So typically that is tedious. You have to create a new buffer, save it, how to XYZ, okay, .html, and make it underline, okay. Then you have to insert the HTML template. Then you need title, then you need footers and navigation bar, like it's very tedious. So typically what I do is, let's delete that, okay, delete the file. So typically what I do is I go to the directory and open like copy, let's see, let's go here somewhere, copy a file. For example, this file, Emacs command frequency, in diet I copy it, then I say something xyz.html, okay. Now I just copy the new file, then I open it, show in browser. This is the old page. I changed the name, like I don't need that anymore. Then change the title, something xyz, okay. I have lots of commands that help me do that. So so that, and also all that I don't need, delete them, okay, and show in browser. So this kind of give me a kind of a new template. Then I start to type, so today I want to do XYZ, and this is how to do it. Okay, so I started to put content. So I copy the file path, close it. I in here I paste the file path, linkify, delete that, make a paragraph, show in browser. So you see something XYZ. That's how I create a new file. Show in browser. Then then I can start to write about that page. That's tedious. So what I have, so let's open that, delete it. So instead of doing that, I just say something XYZ, okay. I just type that and call xah-new-page. That's a command. Press enter, it's done. It automatically create a file. Like I can open it, show in browser. You see, with every templates and the Google tracker, Google, and so it does that all for me. By the way, you can use a Emacs macro for that. if you don't want to code Emacs Lisp that much, but typically if you want it to be faster with more control, fine control, it's better to write Emacs Lisp code. So anyway, so I have that command. That's what it does. So let's look at the code again. xah-new-page. Okay, describe function. Go to the file, and here's the code. Okay, you see. First of all, we have a directory, a map of directories. Like if my the current file is on this directory, then use this file name as template, because I have several websites, and each website they have different templates. So typically the template is based on the current directory. Like you can copy a file in that directory, then that template would be good for that directory. So first of all, we have a map of directory. Depending on which directory you are in, then use a particular file as the template. Basically, this code just do what we did before to create a new file. It essentially copy. For example, if I'm on Emacs, my Emacs directory, it will just copy this file, Emacs logo file, then removes the content of that file. Then it becomes empty like that. Okay, so actually I should. So what am I doing? So yeah. So what do we need to do today? So there's an issue I like to fix or modify. For example, sometimes let's say some for example Emacs for example, I have a text here, and I want to create a new page, new file based on that name. But you notice there's a slash there. Now slash is no good because it's a directory separator. If I call xah-new-page, it'll start to trying to find a directory over there, something, but it doesn't exist, so that's no good. So basically, I like to modify the command so that whenever you see a slash or a comma or any kind of question mark, or like that, remove them. Just make it just make them like that instead. So that's what I like to do. Modify the code. So let's go back to the code. Oops, shit, I did something wrong. Do I want to save? No. Oh yeah, I tried to. You see, that's a problem. That is a problem we just talked about, because I just called xah-new-page on this line, and what it's going to do is it's trying to create a file name with all these characters. With these, that's no good. When that happens, it's confusing because you don't know. It sometimes creates random file names in your directory, and it's hard to find them. So that is what we are trying to fix. So let's go back to the code, and let's see how we're gonna fix it. Let's narrow to region. Narrow to region is a great command, so you only see the part you are interested. So let me read some comments. I follow that GitHub. So a friend recommended your videos. Please share your website. Okay, so see, what did you do to underline the spaces in the file name? Okay, yeah, that's a very convenient command. So remember to check out the left panel, because that shows all the command. For example, something, okay, something this or that. Okay, we are in Emacs list. Let's go back to, open a new buffer, okay, something this and AB. Okay, I want to, suppose I want that to be a file name, so you want underscore, so I can press a key. You see, they all become underscore, or I can press the key again, they all become dash. So that command is called there. You see, cycle hyphen underscore space. That's very convenient. So I press it again, then it becomes all spaces again. So if you just search that name, you'll find the code, my website. Very convenient. So close that. So we need to modify these. Let me read the comments again. So how would you suggest mapping an elisp program to a Firefox web extension? Like I want to be able to categorize my browser tabs and then save it in Emacs. I have a project that saves my tabs into JSON. So how would you suggest mapping an elisp program to a Firefox web extension? I don't know how that would be done, but I know who would have the answer for that. There is this great Emacs and Emacs Lisp expert. His name is Christopher Wellington, I think, and his website is xah-new-program. Okay, let's search for it. xah-new-program is his website, and he has written packages that interacts, that connects Emacs with browser Firefox, in JavaScript or things like that, so that when you code JavaScript in Emacs, the Firefox will automatically update, something like that. And you can also call you are calling the JavaScript engine from the Firefox, JavaScript engine from Emacs. So he has that package. I forgot the name, but anyway, you can go to his GitHub. Let's go to his GitHub. He's a very advanced coder. He code this. Usually, when you code extensions like that, it's fairly complicated, advanced. So the mod is skewer mod. Okay, I actually haven't tried it. So skewer live web development with Emacs. So you might check it out. So I'm pretty sure he would know the answer to your question. And also, he's famous for Lfeed. Lfeed is a RSS feeder in Emacs. So in Emacs you can read all the bloggers you follow, within Emacs, which is very good application by itself. Lfeed. So he's that guy. I think he code mostly in C or C++. I mean, he's that type of guy. Low level kind of guy. Yeah. So you might check it out. As far as grabbing Firefox tabs, I looked into that one time because I also have the need. For example, I have so many tabs right now, like 20 tabs. I want to look. I want to get a list of all the links, of the tabs. So one time, this is like 5 years ago, I looked into. So apparently in Firefox preferences, there was, there used to be like bookmarks, I think, something. But anyway, as years go, they changed everything to binary. So these days, I don't think you actually have a file for bookmarks or things like that. Everything is like binary in a database, SQL, they use SQLite. So you have to, I think that's what you have to look into, which is gets complicated. So, so you have to look into APIs for Firefox SQLite and things like that. Uh, then it takes the JSON. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. So thank you. Nice, another follow. I already have the Firefox tabs grabber. Okay, so you already have the Firefox tab grabber and basic transition to org mod. Okay, so you already have that. So how do you do that? Let's look at Kenny Malek Wikify. So Kenny Malek Wikify. Oh, this doesn't have a README. So okay. By the way, is this your project? But this project needs a README because anyway. So let's go back to the xah-new-page. So I think we finished doing modify this, and that'll be it for today because it's okay. 36 minutes. Let's see if we can do that. So what we need to do is we need to do some kind of find replace. Okay, so in this code, let's see. So the current path is buffer file name. So let's refresh on what we need to do. So we need to grab the line cursor is at. Then we need to replace any slash by a space. Let's say that's what we need to do. So let's look at the code. So directory path, temp file name. So which line is it? So file name directory. So this is the current directory. Okay. So the path is the current directory. This curve f path is the path of the current buffer. The file is the cursor is on. So curve file path is the file path of the cursor. The cursor is on. So this is just the directory of that. Then temp file name is okay. Temp file name. It tries to look up the path map. You see, it tries to look up into this map. So the temp file name is actually just a file name like that. Okay. So this is how you look up. This map is actually called associated list. Okay, so if you don't know, now associated list. Okay, so not here. Let's go back to my Emacs blog. Okay, so Emacs blog. So associated list is one of the Emacs built-in data structure, which is also in any Lisp, common Lisp or scheme Lisp. And associated file list. Associated list is basically like a key value pairs. It's like a hash table, but a little bit different. So you can see my tutorial here, association list. Yeah, that's the name, association list. It is actually just a list, okay, but each item is a pair. So anyway, you can read that if you don't know. Let's go back to our code. Let's try to finish that code. Okay, so this is the association list. and the temp name is how we get the value from a key. Okay, so so far so good, but actually we don't have the current line yet. What we want is the line the cursor is at. So that would be this, I think. No, that would be, wait, where is that? So once we find that variable, it should contains the value of the current line the cursor is at. Once we find that, then we can just do find replace on that string. Then everything is solved. So the task now is to find that line. Where the heck is that line? So if file exists, oh, here. Okay. We got screwed up, you see. So we have here, all these are local variables, from the let. Let is how you specify local variables. So here we have a bunch of local variables. This is one of them, and here is the value. Then here's another one of the local variable, and here's the value. And so we have a bunch of them, and also here P1 is the beginning position of the cursor, the line beginning position of the cursor. I overlooked because you see how these are colored in dark green and bold, but this P1 is not, because those colored in dark green because they start with a dollar sign. That's just my own convention. You don't have to have dollar sign. You don't need that. But because the P1 doesn't start that, so that's why it's not colored. I'm using my own Xah Emacs list mod. So those are not colored. That's why I failed to look into them. So actually the line we are interested um, is this variable file name base. Okay, so why don't we do some find replace and make them into add a dollar sign in front. So change that. There it is. You see now it's green. And also let's change that. Okay, so let's change the f path. Let's add a dollar sign. Change. No. Change. No. Change. Okay. Now you see, now it's all green. So the variable we are interested is this. You see, so what the code is doing is first of all it finds P1 and P2. P1 and P2 are like cursor position 1 and cursor position 2. They are the line beginning and line end position. Okay. Then you say you extract the line, you make that into a string, and we want to name it title1. So let's add a dollar sign here, dollar sign title1. Okay, so we change, so that's the string. So the current line is saved to the variable title1. Okay, then we transform the title1 by removing any sequence of spaces by an underscore, and name that file name base. You see, that's the interesting part. That's what we want. So all we have to do is actually we repeat that. That's all we have to do. So let's see. Let's do that. Okay. So this is the line of interest. So we actually want to do that again. We want to replace any backslash by a underscore. Okay. So actually, here is what we want. Okay, let me. Okay, hold on a second. Let me make it clear so you can actually see clearly what is going on. Okay, so originally we have this line. Now the new line should be. I'm gonna show you how the new line should be. The new line should be this. Okay. Okay, so this is how the new line should be. So this is, you see, this is the old line. Hold on a second. So let me make the code more legible. Okay, so here is the old code. Here is the new code. Wait, this is not right yet. Yeah, so here is, so this is the new code. So what the code does is, first of all, take the title, replace the backslash by a underscore. Okay, that's that. Then we downcase it. Then we do okay, so we do the replacement again. So yeah, so first of all, we replace sequence of space by underscore. We downcase it. Then we replace any backslash, slash by underscore. We don't need to downcase anymore. So actually, so yeah, so that is what we want. So actually, comment that out. So actually, we just quickly fixed this. So we did the fix. So now we eval. I'm going to read the comments. Okay, so let's finish this first. I'm going to eval this defun. Go back to the code. Go back to the go back to my Emacs. Okay, so go back to my blog. Okay, programming blog. So okay, now let's try it. Some slash thing ABC. Okay, now let's call xah-new-page. It should work. It should. The expected result is that it will create a file named that. Okay, let's try it. xah-new-page. Yay! It looks like it did. So open the file, view in browser. Yay, success. So good, we finished that part. So yeah, that's good. So that command xah-new-page is xah-new-page. Let's describe function. So we did that. So let's change the version date. July 31st. Okay, so that's actually done. And this is actually in my Emacs init. So we can just git status. Okay, many changes. Let's upload it so you can see it on my GitHub. Git add. Okay, git add whatever. Actually, wait, I don't want to add a bunch of these temp stuff. So let's just say git commit add existing. Then let's say the comment will be something. Okay, yeah, so now it's on my GitHub. It's updated. Yeah, so that's good for that. That's good that I'm glad I did we focused on that. Um, okay, let me read the comments. Lots of comments. Let's magnify. When you get old, you have to magnify things. So lots of comments. Let's see. So after reading the comments and answer some questions, I think that'll be it for today. That's 50 minutes. Okay, King Herrings. So King Herrings has this project which which grabs all the tabs in a browser, then put them into a JSON, I believe. Okay, then that's what it does. So that's interesting. So you might check out how it does that. I haven't get into the browser extension how it works. So anyway, so yeah, so put a README. So like whenever I go to a GitHub page, the first thing, I mean, if you want your project to be popular, you need a README because people don't have time to look into details. Like I just want a README, and also preferably with a screenshot. Like so you know like the first thing you want to do is like what this do? What this project do? you know like some hackers, we tend to like begin with how fancy it is, like how esoteric. Oh, this is going to do this ABC esoteric things. But for most people, vast majority, when they go to your website, they don't understand what's going on. They first of all, they just want to know what this do, and explain in the most basic way possible. you know so anyway, that's if you want your project to be popular. But oftentimes it may not be necessary because this is just for yourself or something like that. But anyway, uh, so I actually live streamed me making the thing. Oh, so what's your YouTube? Put type it. Uh, yeah, link it. You basically have to move to you have to manually load the web extension the add-on page debug mod, then you use copy tab info. Yeah, that I would be interested to look into because the web extension stuff, Firefox, they also changed over the years, and Google has their Chrome stuff, which is different. And I believe Firefox started to migrate into Google Chrome's architecture. Um, so I'm not going to read out the details. I wouldn't know it's good or bad. Okay, uh, Sid, Xah Prince inline image in terminal or org mod. So xdoc Prince says inline images in terminal or org mod. What do you mean? So I guess how do you do inline images in org mod? I don't know offhand because I'm not a heavy user of org mod. I don't use it that much actually because everything I do is like a lot of Emacs people use org mod for everything, but for me the analogous is HTML. Everything I do is in HTML. So if I want to embed the image, it's all in manual HTML. For example, if I have a path of an image, for example, let me show you. So this is a path to an image I can show in Emacs, and I can just call a command, and it becomes linkified, an image, and so I've been doing this since 1995, manually coding HTML. So I'm familiar with HTML much more and CSS and stuff. Okay, show that. Okay, so I think that's it for today. So any other questions or interesting things? Originally I have another thing. Anything any questions about the code, about oops, that bad thing there, about this code, or Emacs Lisp code, or actually today there is another TCP IP tutorial. So actually go to Xah Talk Show. There's another thing I want to do, which is modify my code, update a atom timestamp. But let's do that another day. Yeah, let's do that another day. So let's see. So anything else? So Sid says, "Hi Sid, I arrived very late to the stream. I will try to catch the next from the beginning." Yeah, because I don't have a fixed schedule, so people don't know when I'm going to come on. It's problematic. I don't know how to fix that because my sleeping schedule changes all the time. So how do you host your web blog? It's very easy. I'm kind of old school, so what I have is, let me show you. Okay, so if I go to my programming blog, go to my Emacs blog. Wait, what is this? Emacs blog showing browser. Okay, so open that. So we just tried that. Delete the whole file we don't need. So now it's done, and yeah, okay, so that is done. So this is another file. Delete it and remove that line. Okay, and show in browser. So we have this empty. So let's say something. Okay, something today's date. Okay, show in browser. So I just updated my Emacs block entry. Then I just go to shell, shell. Then I call this command. This is very convenient command. This is called xah interactive abbrev. So what does that do? Like when you have a abbrev, for example, right arrow. Okay, R for R, right arrow. I have lots of abrevs. I did a talk about abrevs, few months ago. So anyway, so that's abbrev. But some abrevs cause a complicated shell command. For example, this one. But when you have lots of these shell commands, when you have hundreds of abbrev, you forgot, what exactly is abbreviation. You see, for example, I have this rsync, and I have variations of rsync to different servers. But you forgot, with abbrev, the problem is you forgot, which abbrev, what is the exact abbreviation to expand to that. So what do? You can go to the abbrev. For example, I can go to my abbrev. I have a bookmark. I go to my Emacs abbrev. Then you can look up, like hundreds of my abrevs. if, for example, I have many Unicode emoji, I go to my brief file to, if I forgot what a brief is, what emoji, I go to my brief file. But the brief file is like 500 lines. It's tedious. It's still tedious to find out which brief, what it's tedious step. So I created this Xah interactive brief. So you call the command, then it shows all the possible briefs you have. So for example, give to MP4. Then you see this is a Linux command to convert GIF to MP4. Let's try another one. Let's see, SSH. Let's see, what is that? Okay, so that is when I want to SSH to my server. Let's see, so this command is called Xah interactive brief. So I can show you. So remember the trick to open a list file? You call describe function, then you have the documentation, then you can jump to the file. You see, so this is actually the command. It's actually pretty short, and it's actually described in this Emacs my Emacs page, so you can see the source code. If you want to use that, it's very convenient. So anyway, so the way I do my web server is that I'm old school, so I have my web server is you just async to it. So I call this async, call it, type the password, then you just async to it. Now you go to my Emacs blog. Okay, go to my Emacs blog, and you see it there. It's updated something. Okay, so that's what that is. So I used to have bash command for async, but now I use GitHub pages. Oh yeah, so the modern days you can use GitHub. You can just use Git sync. Like you use Git to update your GitHub, and your GitHub, I suppose it functions as a blog, right? Or you can use the modern ways. You can have what's that? There's that tool. Let's go to my blog. Okay, let's go to for example, there is a interactive upgrade. Close. You can go. There is the what's a tool that bundles everything? It's like it bundles everything, all the libraries you need in a standalone box. I have kind of a Docker, yeah. So today you have so many options. The technology advancement. I haven't really used Docker, but I looked into a little bit. So when you have a new project, you make a Docker, then you Docker it up. Everything is like bundled up. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm getting hungry and I'm going to go to eat. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. But okay, so if you like my stuff, support me. Go to my Emacs website. You can buy my Emacs tutorial. There are links somewhere. You can buy my Emacs tutorial, or where are the links? Okay. Anyway, you'll find the link on my website. Or use my Patreon, or PayPal. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.